This is Carl at National RV Detroit. I'm going to walk you through this 2024 Flagstaff Super Lite. The model number is 26FKBS. So this is not a floor plan video. This is a how-to video. I'm just going to show you some of the features and how they work. Okay. All right. So here we are at the door side rear. You have rear stabilizers. Power stabilizers. One switch controls both rear. Go up front. One switch controls both front. Okay. Now this is a freshwater tank fill here. The most common way to get water to the tank, of course, is the city water connection, which is right here. If you happen to be camping someplace that does not have a city water hookup, you're boondocking, whatever, you can pre-fill your fresh water tank here. And then you can use the onboard water pump to pump the water. All the plumbing will work as though you have city water, but you'll be pumping it out of the tank. Okay. This is just a hookup for a sprayer. Quick connect for a sprayer. You have a power awning with LED strip, of course. You have stairs adjustable and they fold into the trailer. You have power out, TV signal, and then you have a bracket here also. Okay. Outside speakers. This is a vent for the range hood, so if you're going to be using the range hood, the fan in the range hood, make sure you open the baffle by just flipping it open with your index finger and your thumb there. Okay. This is for your griddle. Griddle hangs right on here. Okay, and you have an LP hose that comes with it that connects underneath here, if you can see it. Okay. Okay. This is the furnace vent. This is your water heater here. It works on both gas and electric. So you have a burner here, a gas burner, and then you have an electric heating element behind this cover here. It is winterized, so there's no water in the water heater or the system. It's all filled with antifreeze. Okay. There are switches for both the gas and electric inside. I'll show you that too when we get on the inside. Never run the water heater without water in the tank. That's important. Alright, so here you have a dump hose. This is a tabletop that hangs next to the grill or griddle. That's a 3/4 inch crank, and there's a smaller crank. The smaller crank is in case your power tongue jack fails, right? If your power tongue jack stops working, you can pull this plug out of the top here. And you can insert that crank right on there and crank it manually, so you can always get yourself out of trouble. You can always get hitched and unhitched. Okay. Two deep cycle marine batteries, 2 LP tanks. Keep in mind there's a kill switch right here, if you can see it, right down there. It's a kill switch for the battery. You can turn the battery on and off there, disconnect it from the trailer just by turning that switch. Okay, docking lights, like so. Okay. These are some valves here, black and gray valves. Black is toilet water waste, of course. Gray is sink and shower water. Storage under the bed. 50 amp service. So we give you the reducer to reduce it down to a 30, then again down to a 20. You can you have a ladder, so it makes it really easy to access the roof. The manufacturer states you should inspect your roof every 60-90 days. Make sure there's no cracking or separation. at any of the points where there's caulk or sealant. Make sure there's been no damage done to the roofing materials or roofing attachments by, let's say, low branches, road debris, that sort of thing. It's important to inspect your roof. It should be part of your regular maintenance, so remember that. Also, this housing shows us this is pre-wired for a Furrion backup camera, so we do sell those here if you're interested. Back here to the water panel, where we started off at. So this is the city water hookup here. This is for winterizing. You'll have to read your manual a bit if you're going to winterize it yourself, but that's where you draw the antifreeze in there. This is the black tank flush. So I showed you where you dump the black tank on the other side. When you're at the dump station, if you dump the black tank, then you take the hose at the dump station, you screw it onto this port here, this black tank flush. You turn it on, it'll spray out the inside of the black tank, clean off the sensors, that sort of thing. So it's a very good thing to do as long as there's a working hose at the dump station. That's a good thing to do. Always make sure the valve is open before you turn on the water, okay? Cable and satellite through. All right. So let me look in this one here, see what we've got. This is the bedroom area and the bathroom. Let me see here. So this is your griddle. It'll generally be stored outside or in the back of your tow vehicle, whatever. But that's the griddle that hangs on, and you can see on the side of the trailer. You can also see the rubber hose there that connects to the LP system. All right. This is your control panel here. You see it monitors all your levels, right? Your lights are here. You can connect it here with. It does have an app. Your awning, power awning. Never leave the awning out unattended. Always roll it in if you're not going to be at the campsite. You have 2 slide rooms. So slide 1 is this large one. Slide 2 is the bedroom slide. Now to light your water heater on gas, you do this, right? To turn on the electric, you do this. Now keep in mind there's no, right now it's empty because it's winterized, so there's no water in the water heater tank. Never turn these on unless you make sure there's water in the tank, okay? Your water pump is here. You use that water pump to pump water out of the fresh water tank if you don't have city water like we discussed. It's also used to winterize the trailer. And then you have heating pads on your holding tank, so you can turn those on here. And basically they're heating pads. They warm up the tank so they extend your camping season. Okay? Thermostat is self-explanatory. You hit the mode button and cycle through to find the mode that you want. Okay. As we come in, we have a 12-volt DC refrigerator. So it runs on 12-volt DC. It also opens both ways. Okay. So let's see how we're going to do this. This is your this is your power converter right here. So when you're plugged into shore power, you have 110 AC right here at these circuit breakers. You can see they're labeled right here. So this will take the 110 AC, it'll convert it to 12 volt DC over here. So you see the 12 volt fuses here, and they're all labeled, right? It's also a battery tender, so as long as you're plugged in, it'll sense how much energy your battery on the front has, and it'll keep it charged, okay? So it's a battery tender in that sense. Now, your battery will also be charged by the tow vehicle. The tow vehicle's alternator through the charge line. When you're going down the road, will charge your battery. So when you're going down the road, your tow vehicle charges your battery. When you're plugged in, this power converter does. Now this also, let me get on my feet here. I think we'll go back here, as if I remember correctly. Yes. So this is your solar controller right here. Let me get it back to where it belongs here. Okay, there we go. So basically this will, there we go. This is telling us right now that there's 63 degrees Fahrenheit, for example, 28.8 volts in the system. volts DC in the system, I should say. Let it come around again. And right now, because it's cloudy and overcast, we're only gaining 0.7 amps and storing it in the battery, right? As the day goes on and maybe the clouds clear out or the sun's in a different position, you'll get different reading from the sun. It could get you 5 amps and 6 amps, depends the time of day and the conditions outside. But my point is this also charges your battery. So depending on the sunlight outside, the conditions, it'll also be sending power to be stored in your battery. And this is where you monitor all of it right here. Okay. Now this also has a power inverter, right? Here we go again. This also inverts power. Now invert is the opposite of converting. Invert starts with 12 volt DC, in this case it would be from the batteries, and it inverts it to 110 AC. Now you can't run the trailer on the inverter, but what you have is basically inverted circuits here, inverted plugs like right here. So the idea is if you're in the middle of nowhere and you're running off your batteries and you're running off your solar panel and your batteries, and you need to run a 12 volt appliance, let's say a blender, for example, you can plug it in and you can turn on the inverter right here. Hold it in for a second. There we go. And this is the monitor for the power inverter. And basically, right now, since I did that, it's been taking the 12 volt DC from the batteries and inverting it to 110 AC and sending it to your outlets, right? So you can't run something major. You couldn't run your microwave off this, but you can run small appliances off of it. So this is the part of the power inverter system, okay? To shut it off, only invert power if you need to. If you're not doing it, then you might as well shut it off. So you just hold it for a few seconds and it'll turn off, okay? So that's the inverter. So I've showed you the converter, which goes from AC to DC. I've showed you the inverter, which goes from DC to AC, and I showed you the solar panels, which converts sunlight into amps and sends the amps to be stored in your battery. Okay? All right. Okay. So, microwave works like any other microwave. This is your range hood. Remember I told you that it has the vent on the outside. You can hear the fan revving up there. If you're venting to the outside using the fan, you always want to open the baffle on the outside. Alright, light. I don't know if he's got the gas turned on here, but let me see. Yeah, there we go. So that's very simple. You have 3 burners and 3 knobs right here. Right? Then you have the sparker. You turn clockwise. This is for the oven. You'll turn the oven to the position of the flame, depress it, spark it till it lights, and you're all set there. Your keys are hanging right here on your faucet, just so you know. Everything's keyed alike, so you just one set of keys should open everything and lock everything. This is your sprayer for the outside. I showed you that one spray port. Okay. Your dinette table should not be left up when you're traveling, right? To bring it down, you're going to push this yellow knob or marker or whatever you want to call it, turn it to the right. It's a lever, I guess, and you'll hear a click. Then you can collapse the table at these hinges here, and you'll drop it right down onto these 4 cleats, right? Then you take the back cushions and you'll fill in the space and you've got another bed. But also, you do that while you're traveling so it doesn't bounce around and break something. It's a heavy table, and you don't want to hit a wild bump and break a window or dent your wall or something, you know. So you always want to travel that in the down position, okay? This device here is your power, is your LP and carbon monoxide detector. So it should always be green like it is. If not, get it serviced. You have some theater seats here, phone charger. Okay, so let's see what we have here. These are remotes for this one here is for your fireplace / space heater, which is right here. So this not only, looks good, it's an actual space heater. So what it's going to do is it runs on AC power, so it runs on campground power. So in those days where you don't quite really need to run your furnace, you can run this and you don't have to use up any of your limited supply of LP. Okay. There we go. So it has a timer, so you can set it to turn on and turn off when you want. Right now it's really kicking, but you can set it up here. That flashes on and off. That's telling you the temperature. You can also adjust the look of it. You can see I can dim it or bring it up full, and then of course these up and down here are for the temperature. Okay. Right now it's really kicking out the heat. Okay. The next one is for your sound bar, which is this one right here. Okay. So your sound bar has a FM radio. It has Bluetooth, so you can stream wirelessly from your phone to your tablet. It has a USB drive right there. And it has two speaker zones, A and B. A is inside the trailer and B is outside the trailer. So it does everything you need. And of course your TV is on a swing out bracket that locks into place. And that's what this one is for here. Okay. So let's see, where else are we here? Let me see what else I can show you in this room. I think we've covered this one. Let me look around. Yes. Okay. I don't know why that's sitting there. So, always remember to travel with this latched, this rubber piece here. Oops, I'm sorry about my camera work. I was pointing the wrong way there. You don't want it to come open and slam together and break. So, this is an eco device here. This is the shower miser, right? You'll have information in your booklet for it. This basically saves water, saves fresh water. To circulate, you can see there's some diagrams there. This is off, right? This is circulating water, and then straight up like it was with showering. So what happens, you put it in the circulation mode right there, you turn on the hot water, right? It'll start recirculating the water around in a loop, the fresh water around in a loop. So instead of it just dumping cold water down the drain while you're heating it up, it just circulates it around and around so you don't waste it. So it just circulates between the water pump, this apparatus here, and the water heater itself. So it goes around and around. Once it gets hot enough, this blue plastic type stuff will turn beige. That's telling you your water's hot enough, right? So then you just go up to this position, and it works like a regular shower. So the thing is, you can heat up your water without wasting fresh water and without wasting storage in your gray tank by filling it up with perfectly good water. So that's the shower miser. And always latch it like that when you're traveling. It's a GFCI here. There's every receptacle in the trailer is wired through a GFCI. You got a 4-speed fan here, and it's got a cover over it, so you can even keep it open when it's raining out. This typical RV trailer toilet, it sits over a black tank. See, we have antifreeze in there now. So when you get to the campground, you hook up your power and your water, of course. Then you're going to come in here and you're going to dump a dose of chemical right in the bowl. Then you're going to step on the pedal and hold it down and let it swirl around, the water swirl around into the black tank along with the chemical, and hold it down until you put at least a gallon of water in there. You can use more if you want, just not less. Then it's ready to be used. If you don't do that, it'll be considered using it dry, and if you use it dry, it'll smell super terrible, plus it'll clog up. So you always want chemical and water in there before you use it. Okay. So most of the bedroom stuff is pretty typical. You can lift up your bed and access the stuff from under there. This is got two hinges, or a hinge you unscrew here. So you unscrew this hinge and open it up, and that's where your water pump's going to be. That's where you're going to draw antifreeze, or you're going to control the valves to draw the antifreeze and everything into the system. So that is basically where you go to winterize and that sort of thing. Okay. This is okay. You always keep this shut. Whoops, I'm sorry. Bad camera work again. I'm not going to get any Daytime Emmy Award. Okay. So this is a 50 amp system, right? The reason it's a 50 amp system is because this is pre-wired for a second air conditioner. So if you want to add a second air conditioner, it'll fit right in here. It's pre-wired for it. So keep that in mind. It's a very simple install. We do that here. And this sticker is telling us that if you remove this switch here, there's going to be a wire fastened back here that is going to be for a sensor that you would use to control to send information to the thermostat about this air conditioner if you were to add it. So this is pretty prepped for a second air conditioner. All right, I think we've got it. Let me look around here. Of course, if you have any more questions when you pick up, we'll talk it over with you. This is all your literature here. This is a tire monitor. You have sensors attached to your wheels inside your tires, and you can program this to tell you the temperature of your hubs and the pressure. The tire pressure. You could also set alarms on it. There's a lot you could do with it, so we can talk to you more about that too if you're interested. There's all your literature right there. Okay. I want to thank you for purchasing your trailer here at National RV Detroit. Please remember what I said about inspecting the roof. It's part of your regular maintenance. It's very important. Before I go, this here, you want to scan this if you're interested in getting better Wi-Fi for your family. If you scan that, it'll show you the different products. It's pre-wired for basically a signal booster for public Wi-Fi, and it would consist of an antenna on the roof and a router box that fits right here. So if you need good Wi-Fi, good public Wi-Fi, scan that and learn a bit more about it. Okay, that's an option. Okay, so I thank you for buying the trailer here. I appreciate that. Also, make sure you inspect your roof. And right now we're winterized. All the water's been purged from the system and replaced with antifreeze. The water heater is bypassed and it's empty right now. Always make sure you have water in your water heater tank before you turn it on, okay? Thank you.